Hello and welcome to yoga. Today we are going to look at working into the shoulders, the back. We're looking to open up through the shoulders. We are going to be moving into some twists just to get a little bit more mobility back in the spine. So let's get started. We're going to start just, it's a little bit unusual. We're going to start just in a child's pose. So allowing your body to really kind of ground down, but using your shins as that support, allowing your shoulders to begin to melt over the knees, take the forehead down to the mat. And then in this position, really notice the heaviness of the body, okay? So taking those deep breaths in. As you take the inhale, noticing the chest, pushing against the thighs, noticing the spine, beginning to you feel the skin over the spine beginning to stretch. So I want you to feel into this space. If this feels a little bit claustrophobic and you're not a fan of it, then you can always go into a more of a wide-legged or wide-kneed child's pose that you might feel a little bit more comfortable in. But just taking those nice deep breaths, allowing those shoulders to kind of melt over the knees, allow the shoulders to separate. Feel gravity doing its thing. Staying with the inhales and the exhales. And then by starting off in a child's pose, almost by default, we're closing off everything else. So just bringing yourself into the smallest space that you can. Ignoring all of the movement around you. Perhaps there's stuff going on in the rooms nearby. Ignoring all of that and just beginning to just bring your focus into yourself. Noticing the breath. Noticing the heartbeat. Noticing whether you're holding any tension anywhere. If you are, just see if you can relax into it. And then nice and slowly, see if you can come to unwind and come to sit up onto the shins. So from this position, we're just going to take the hands to the knees or to the thighs, have a nice relaxed shoulder space. If you're uncomfortable on your shins, if it's uncomfortable with your knees, you can always put a blanket or roll something underneath your bottom to take the pressure off, or just come to a cross-legged position, okay? So we're just going to sit here for a moment or two. I would bring your eyes to a close or take the gaze down towards the knees. And then from here, see if you can just draw in the ribs and come up to a really nice and tall seated position. So keeping that spine long, keeping that neck long, close off the eyes. And we're going to start with our even breathing. Before we do that, can we just roll those shoulders up towards the ears and then roll them all the way back and down. See if you can feel the difference between where they maybe were and where they should be. So really drawing them back and down so you've got this lovely open chest. So let's start with our even breathing. Let's take an inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, and 1. With your eyes closed or your gaze just softened, allow the breath to return to its normal pattern and start to focus in on an intention of today's practice. So really thinking here about somewhere you would like to send your energy, okay? It might, if you're stuck for ideas, just be all about kindness towards yourself. How nice is that? but entirely up to you. Focus it in your mind's eye, take a moment, just sit with it. Okay, and then from here we can open up the eyes. We're going to just take that right hand down, take that left arm up, and then see if we can reach up out of the shoulder joint. So really lift up out of the side body, lifting, lifting, lifting. See if you can draw that right shoulder away, and then we're just going to take a little side bend here. You might not be able to get very far because we want our bottoms attached to our heels still. Take the inhale, grow and lengthen. Exhale, can you come down a little bit lower? Draw that right elbow in towards the body so we can open through that right shoulder. Take a moment here. Really think about that left hip grounding down so that you can plant that heaviness through that side to get that additional length through the fingertips of the left side and find that opening through that left side body. Okay, let's take that left hand down towards the mat and then take the right hand to meet it. From here, we're going to just lift and lengthen through the crown of the head and then lower down, using your breath to work with you, still keeping the bottom attached to the heels. If that means you're up here, it doesn't matter. It's all about finding that stretch from around the shoulders and then sinking the bottom back to find that stretch down the side body and into the lower back. Keep breathing here. With every inhale, see if you can lift through the chest, find length, and then exhale, move down into that space. Okay, we're going to walk the fingertips forward now. Keep the palms lifted, find space around the shoulders, sink the chest down, keep the neck nice and relaxed. Working with the breath. And then walk those fingertips back in. Okay, from this way, we're going to take the left hand down. We're going to lift through the right hand this time. Really lift up and out of the waist. See if you can reach those fingertips up towards the ceiling. Let's reset ourselves as we bring that left elbow in towards the body so we can open that left shoulder back and then take that right hand over just so you start to feel the stretch down that right side. Keep that bottom or that right bottom, right butt cheek attached to that right heel, just so you can really ground down. Again, using the breath, take the inhale, reach the fingertips high. Exhale, can you come down a little bit deeper? See if you can keep both shoulders level rather than drifting forward with one. See if you can keep them stacked. Maybe the gaze comes up towards the ceiling as well. Keep breathing here. Feel the ribs beginning to crack open as the lungs push against that space. And then from here, let's take that right hand down and then move that left hand to join it. Take that forward fold here off to the left hand side and then sink. Really push that right hip back so that you can find that heaviness to get that lovely stretch through the shoulders, through that side body again into this lower spine. Keep the neck nice and relaxed. Maybe a little bit of a shake of the head to remind yourself of that. We can often start to gather tension in the neck without even really noticing it. Using the breath to release, take the inhale, reach forward, lift through the chest, find space. Exhale, lower back down. And then walk those fingertips back through center. Keep the palms lifted, find that space, and then begin to fold forward. Okay, and then when you're ready, let's walk those fingertips back in. Okay, we're going to take to a seated position now. If you prefer to use a block here because you've got quite tight hips, then sit on a block. It's a really, really nice way to get a deeper opening into the hips. Okay, so we're going to take the hands to the back of the head, interlace those fingers, and then begin by just opening those elbows to opposite sides of the room. Think here about squeezing into the shoulder blades. So you're really thinking about the shoulder blades squeezing in and then backing down. Okay, so see if you can put them back where they belong. All the while we're doing this, think about those hips. So those knees are heading down towards the mat so that we can get that opening through the hips. Excellent bang for buck. Okay, and then we're going to take the right elbow down towards the floor. So the left elbow points towards the sky, keeping the obliques working to keep you strong through the core. Keeping the shoulders nice and level. Notice here if you start to grip. Okay, maybe your knees start to lift because you are maybe pushing too far down with the elbows. If that's the case, just come up a little bit higher. Remind yourself that it shouldn't be stressful. Reset yourself and then see where you can go from there. Okay, let's bring ourselves back up to neutral and then drop down to the left-hand side. Left elbow comes down, right elbow points up towards the ceiling. Again, making sure that we're not creeping that right elbow forward, but drawing it back so that they are nice and level. Check in again with the knees, make sure they're not lifting up. See if you can reset yourself if that's the case. Taking nice, slow, steady breaths here, finding that strength through the core to keep you in this position. And then coming back up to center. Okay, drawing elbows in towards one another. Take chin towards chest, and now begin to round through the spine. Slowly taking each vertebrae at a time, coming all the way down to a place that is comfortable for you. See if you can notice the skin of the spine or against the spine beginning to stretch, really push into it. Draw those elbows forward so you can stretch across the back of the upper back. And then nice and slowly beginning to just engage slightly through the core to be able to stack each of the vertebrae and then open through the elbows and lift through the chin. Chin comes up towards the ceiling. Okay, last one here. Let's touch into chest. Elbows draw into one another. Start to push against the skin. Begin to round down through the vertebrae. Really draw elbows in towards one another now to start to feel that stretch across the upper back. Very aware and close to the mic now. This might be very noisy for you, sorry. Okay, and then when you're ready, let's start to come all the way back up as safely and carefully as you can. And once you're there, open out through those elbows. We're going to release through the hands, take the hands behind you, and then interlace those fingers so that you can start to push that fist away. So here, start to drive the fist together, and then think about moving those shoulders back and down. Okay, roll those shoulders back, really open up through the chest, and then maybe if it's comfortable for you, start to take the gaze up towards the ceiling. Keep breathing here. And then from here, start to fold forward. As you fold forward, think about releasing those pointer fingers and lifting the pointer fingers up towards the ceiling. Maybe bringing a cushion to catch your head or kind of support you a little bit more if you find that this is a little bit too much. Keep lifting through the pointer fingers. See if you can keep that fist together, like the palms together as you lift. Lifting those fingers up towards the ceiling, find space. And then carefully lowering the hands back down and then coming all the way back up to a seated position. Okay, from here, just roll those shoulders out. Take the shoulders in really lovely big circles back up towards the ears and back. Just find that space. And then we're going to reverse it. So start to draw the shoulders back and then up towards the ears and roll them forward. Hopefully we feel a little bit looser here until the next feed, I'm guessing. Okay, let's take the hands down and let's find ourselves in a table position. So taking the hands underneath, or the wrists underneath the shoulders, and then the knees underneath the hips. We're going to push down into the mat. Okay, from here, we're going to go straight into downward facing dog. So tuck those toes and then hover the knees. Start to really engage through the core. We're going to check you've engaged through the core because we're just going to rock forward. Okay, the core has to be working here because otherwise we'd be all on the floor. And then take the body back to your table and then rock the body weight forward just a little bit. Push into the hands, separate the shoulders. Come back into your hovered table. And now this time, chest comes back towards the thighs. Hands push down into the mat. You can move the shoulders. And then here, start to push those heels down towards the mat. So we're thinking here about the Achilles, about the calves, and we're going to start to send the sit bones up towards the ceiling. Play around with your downward facing dog. So maybe coming to the tiptoes, pushing the hands into that mat, just like you're going into handstand, and then coming all the way back again. So just rolling over the toes to find that lovely strength through the shoulders and then the stretch through the legs. Okay, just walk out those heels. Take the opportunity to wiggle through the bottom to release through the back. Keep the neck nice and loose. Shake the head yes, nod the head no, or the other way around. Okay, let's take the right leg high. Keep those hips nice and level, drawing the right hip down in line with the left. Push through the heel. Then stack the hips and bend through that back knee. Bring that back foot towards the bottom, push through the hips. Find the quad stretch, find the groin stretch. Check in with the hands, see if you can just try and keep the weight as equal as possible. And then we're going to take that right foot down. Walk out the heels again. We're going to lift that right hand this time, and then right hand is going to come towards the left ankle. I'm going to come into a twist. So starting to draw that right shoulder underneath left. All the while thinking here about chest heading back towards thighs. Looking like an upside down V. Right hand's going to come down. Let's find ourselves into a wide-legged child's pose. Let's lower the heart rate, take a rest from the arms. So taking the knees as wide as the mat, the bottom comes down onto the heels. Walk the hands forward and then allow the chest to hang down into the mat. Check in with the breath here. Okay, and then we're going to move straight into puppy pose. Bring those knees to hip distance apart. We're going to walk the hands forward and sink the chest low. Finding that space around the shoulders. Keep the neck relaxed. Maybe if you've got space, spider up those fingertips. We're going to keep the bottom stacked over the knees. Be careful not to edge too far forward. Okay, let's come into thread the needle. Right hand's going to stay down. Left arm is going to fly underneath that right arm. Come to rest on the shoulder. And then either keep the right hand connected to the mat. Start to reach it forward to find that stretch through the shoulder. Or we can lift it high. Or for a really nice deep shoulder opening, take that right hand and take it all the way behind you to touch the top of that left thigh. Okay, let's come out of here. Right hand's going to come down, left arm comes out. Left hand places down, right arm's going to come under, come to rest on the top of the right shoulder. Maybe that left arm reaches forward, spidering up those fingertips to really reach as far as you can. Stretch through that left shoulder. Alternatively, left hand can lift or wrap behind you to touch the top of the right thigh, keeping that neck nice and relaxed. One more breath here. And then let's unwind. Left hand's going to come down, right hand's going to come out. Come back into your table. You know what it looks like. You've been here before. Let's tuck the toes, hover the knees, find the core. Rock the body weight forward, finding that core. Take it back. One more time. Let's take it forward, find that core. And then take it back. This time downward facing dog. Thighs come towards you. Chest comes towards thighs. Thighs don't move. And then start to float the bottom up. Walk out those heels. Wiggle through the bottom. Release through the back. Find your down dog. Start to lift over the toes. Push the hands into the mat. Find the strength through the shoulders. And then sink back down again. Let's go again. Come to the toes. Start to lift, push, push, push through the hands, find that strength, and then sink the heels back down. Let's go three-legged dog. Left leg lifts, push through the heel, keep the left hip down in line with the right, really having to find that lovely stretch down the back of that right leg. Let's stack the hips now, left on right, bend through the back knee, draw the foot in towards the bottom. Push through the hips, find the groin stretch, find the quad stretch. Keep the neck relaxed. And then that left foot is going to place down. Let's come into a twist now. That left hand is going to lift and find the right ankle or right calf or close by the right foot. It doesn't matter. And then begin to draw left shoulder under right. As you begin to bring yourself round into a twist. Okay, left hand's going to place down. Find your downward facing dog. I'm going to be a little bit mean, but not too mean. We're going to go into dolphin because a lot of the things that we have when we experience issues through the shoulders is because of strength. So we're going to go through dolphin. So dropping down to the elbows or down to the forearms, make a fist with the hands and start to push the forearms or that lovely little triangle you've created deeply down into the mat. What we want to do is create space around the shoulders. So rather than dumping down, we want to be pushing away, really find that space. We're going to hold it for another 3, 2, keep pushing, and 1. Super. Come back to your down dog. Bet that feels easy now. Okay, from here, let's take that right foot through the hands. Coming up into a high lunge. So find yourself into a high lunge. Keep your hands to your hips for a moment so we can keep those hips in alignment. Push back with the back heel. Find your strength here. You got it? Sure you have. Okay, we're going to take the hands up high. Roll in those pinky fingers. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Keep pushing down with the back heel. Okay, hands are going to come to our hips. From here, we're going to head into dancer, okay? So I'll talk you through it. We're going to start by coming to the top of our mat. We're going to take that left foot in towards the bottom and take hold of the foot on the shoelace side. From here, take the right arm up alongside the ear. We're looking to roll that left shoulder back, okay? So we want openness through the chest. From here, we're going to start to push foot into hand. This might just be enough. This might be your dancer pose. If you want a little bit more, keep pushing the foot into the hand until you get a deeper back bend. And then you can start to tip the body weight forward. As you do that, you're thinking about driving that left hip down with the right, okay? So you want to keep them as level as you can. We want to keep that right arm lifted. Keeping that right arm lifted so it doesn't drop below the chin. Keep pushing foot into hand and keep rolling that shoulder back. Lifting through the toes, keep drawing the hip down in line with the other. Focus on something that's not moving. And then when you're ready, with some kind of dance of finesse, bring yourself back up to standing. Nice job. Okay, perfect. From here, should we repeat on the other side as we're up here already? I think we should. So this time around, your left leg is your standing leg, okay? So from here, we're going to bend that right foot in towards the bottom. Take that shoelace side with the right hand. Roll that right shoulder back and down. Left arm is going to lift, keep it as high or higher than your chin. And then start to push foot into hand, creating that little back bend. And that might just be enough, okay? From here, if you're ready, start to push that foot into the hand, beginning to tip the body forward. Draw right hip down rather than opening up. So it's facing the floor rather than the wall. Keep lifting through that left hand. Keep pushing through the foot. Keep lifting. And then you can come just a little bit lower, focusing on something that is not moving. Breathing here. Embracing the wobbles through the ankle. And then when you're ready, not like me, when you're ready, safely release that foot and then come back up to a standing position. All right, nice job, nice job. Let's take the arms high, lift high above the head, reach up, start to find that nice little back bend as you squeeze into the glutes to start to lift through the chin. And then take a forward fold. Bringing those hands down towards the mat. Take a nice deep bend into the knees. Walk out the heels one by one. And then pause. Take the right hand to the mat. Take the left arm high. Start to bend through into that right knee. So we've got the left leg straight and that left arm lifting. Maybe you have space to wrap that arm all the way behind you to touch the top of the right thigh. Maybe the gaze comes up towards the ceiling. Maybe you can think about shifting the body weight back just a little bit so that you're more into the heels, so that you can feel that stretch just a little bit deeper down the outside of that left leg and down the back of that left leg too. Okay, let's switch it out. We can bend through those knees again. Left hand is going to come down. This time, right arm starts to lift. And then we start to bend through the left knee this time, lifting up through that right hand. Maybe wrapping it all the way behind you, rolling that shoulder back. Start to take the weight back into the heels, pushing the bottom backwards. And then coming all the way back round again. Walk out those heels, lifting one at a time. Okay, and then from here, take the right foot back. We're going to come into a high lunge on the side. Ooh, terrible balance, really sorry. Start to push the back heel back, keep that front bend into the knee. And then once you've got your balance, take those hands up, roll in those pinky fingers towards one another, drop those shoulders back and down. Keep pushing through the back heel so that that back leg is nice and strong. Okay, and then from here, let's take the hands down to the mat. We're going to take the left foot back to join the right. Find your plank. Always an option to come to the knees if you need to. Take the inhale forward with the weight, and then bend those elbows towards the back of the room as you lower down. Okay. From here, let's take the hands behind us. Interlace the fingers and release the pointer fingers. We're going to take that inhale as we do, roll the shoulders back, start to lift through the pointer fingers like you're trying to touch the back wall. And then maybe bring the feet in as well as you start to lift. Squeeze the glutes, think about lifting and lengthening through the crown of the head. And then exhale and lower, relax. Take an inhale, roll those shoulders back, squeeze the glutes, begin to peel the chest off of the mat, begin to point towards the back wall, begin to lift those feet if you want to include the feet too. Keep the neck relaxed. And then exhale, lower. We're going to go for one last one here. So take that inhale, roll those shoulders back, point towards the back wall, peel those feet off of the mat, squeeze those glutes like there's no tomorrow, lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. And then lower down, release the hands, make a pillow for the head, bend at the knees, just windscreen wiper those legs from side to side, releasing any tension that might have been gathering. And then from here, without any kind of ceremony, we're going to put those feet flat, and then we're just going to roll onto our backs, okay? So roll onto your back. We're just going to finish off with a couple of twists here. So first things first, take those feet as long as they can be, so take them away from you. Draw right knee in towards the chest. Interlace those fingers below the knee and just draw that knee in towards the shoulder. Keep the shoulders back and down. Maybe pushing through the heels, maybe not. No judgment. And let's come into a twist. Release there. Release the knee. Take the left hand to the outside of that right knee, and the right hand can extend away from you. Draw the right knee across the body into a twist. Maybe gazing over that right shoulder or right fingertips. See if you can keep shoulders connected to the mat. Then back to center nice and carefully. And let's swap it out. We're going to take the right leg away, left knee bends in, interlace the fingers below the knee, drawing that knee just past the ribs and up towards the shoulders. Keep those shoulders back and down so that the chest can be nice and open here. Again, pushing through the heels or not. Your choice. And then releasing that off. Take the right hand to the outside of that knee. Left hand extends away from you. Draw the knee across the body. And then gaze over those left fingertips if it's comfortable. Okay, from here, nice and carefully, just take that left knee back. And then just finishing off, draw both knees in towards you. Give yourself a really lovely hug together. See if you can think about the spine touching the mat. See if you can draw the shoulders away so that you can open the chest. And then maybe just a rock and a roll or a sideways wobble, whatever way you've got, whatever way feels good. Just to give yourself a little bit of self-massage. Because it always feels good. And then once you're happy and you've made any adjustments that you might need to, find your way down to the mat, into your final savasana, wherever you're happy, just to rest for a little bit of time. Maybe popping on a blanket, finding a pillow, removing any tickly pieces of hair, whatever it might be. Taking a moment. Okay, so finding a comfortable position just for yourself and removing any distractions, settling in, growing heavy on the mat, closing your eyes when you're ready to do so, or just softening the gaze. Finding the contact points between you and the mat and feeling heavy against them. Starting to turn the gaze inwardly, focusing just only on you. Everything else melts away. It's only you that remains. So today we're going to be thinking about removing any worry and finding calm. So take a deep breath in through your nose and then out through the mouth. As you do so, think about counting in for 4 and exhaling for 4, or finding your own perfect rhythm. Try to keep your breathing rhythmic, slow, controlled and easy. As you inhale, imagine that you are breathing in calmness, peace, strength. And then as you exhale, imagine that you are breathing out any worries or stress. Slowing your breath, slowing the heart rate, emptying the worry. There is nothing for you to think about right now. Just breathing in and breathing out. With every inhale, feel lighter. If your mind drifts at all, notice it without judgment, and then bring your attention back to the breath. All you need to do is breathe in and breathe out. You are strong, powerful, and so very capable. You can handle anything that life throws at you. Take a moment to notice how you feel right now. The calm you feel as you simply lay there and breathe. I want you to cast your mind back to the intention that you set at the beginning of class today. Focus it in your mind's eye. Take a moment to sit with it. And then when you're ready, start to bring your awareness back to the wider world. Start to wiggle those toes and those fingers. Take an inhale, a lovely deep inhale, and as you exhale, release through the mouth and sigh it all away. On your next inhale, lift those arms high above the head, stretch out. Really enjoy that stretch. Find length on the mat. And then when you're ready, you can begin to open up the eyes. And then take that relaxation with you into the rest of your day or evening.